The topic is the Congressional bailout, and of course we're talking to Dr. Paruchuri from Tennessee State University, who's given us some information relative to some of the difficulties involved with this congressional bailout. And of course, Dr. Paruchuri, let's pick up where we left off and give you an opportunity to talk about some of the solutions over the next 8 or 9 minutes in reference to how we deal with this particular issue.
Yeah, I would go back to the experience we have had with FDR. You know, what FDR did was he had to first get the approval of the Congress to give the power to the government. Until that time, the law was interpreted more in terms of very absolutely conservative thing, where the Congress could not do much. Or the president could not do much. So he pushed through, he went to the people and said, look, this is the situation. Congress is not, the laws which we have now do not permit the president to really act or the Congress to act. So it was, you know, tax and spend policy which he has enlarged the earlier portion of earlier constitutional limitations, you know, they had at that time, and which helped the nation to recover out of the greatest depression we have ever had. In 1937, he was able to finally push through a number of pieces of legislation to give the power to the government and, of course, the federal government and also to the Congress. So Congress passed a piece of legislation for enlarging the amount of spending which the federal government could do, and also taxing powers. So until that time, it was not a solution available. In this context, I must mention John Maynard Keynes, who was a British economist, a mathematician turned British economist. He wrote an open letter through New York Times to the President of United States at the time, FDR. What he did was, okay, look, whenever, there is nothing wrong with capitalistic society, but whenever the private enterprise system fails, it is the responsibility of the government to, you know, prop it up and save the nation. If it is not for John Maynard Keynes, probably it would not have been sinking in FDR's mind. But you know, even FDR hesitated for a couple of years too, because that is a new economic policy. By the way, today everyone, whether it's conservative or liberal economists, they all say they are Keynesian economists. It was that John Maynard Keynes who has really helped improve the conditions of not only this country but around the globe. Well, his country was suffering, British economy was suffering because of the depression we have had.
The same thing, it's a global depression today.
And right now, you know, every country is suffering. And our unemployment has been increasing day by day, and number of people are going to be in the roles of unemployment, and these people, they have only 6 months to receive those unemployment benefits. But after that, what? So it has to be, Congress should approve something to make sure, extend that time period.
Because because it doesn't appear as if everything's going to be all right within the next 6 months.
Within 6 months. And don't forget, number of people have been on the unemployment payrolls. They may be ready for receiving some benefit from somewhere. It's not only the food stamp program which has been, you know, burdened with, but also they don't have any money to buy the basic things.
And even when we talk about credit, if individuals don't have money and they can't get credit from it, they don't have any kind of collateral to go to the bank with, it simply leaves them in quite of a desperate situation. Would you say that?
Yeah, it is absolutely correct. And even today, right now, even with a 700 points credit score, which you have, which is supposed to be pretty good, they could not get very many loans.
And some of the large corporations, I understand, are having some real problems. Reputable corporations, I understand.
Yes, and they have been having a tremendous amount of problem in getting some sort of credit so that they can expand their plant and equipment. And especially for sales. For example, auto industry, which suffered tremendously because of this credit crunch. And they could not get any banks, financing these, where the inventory of these different dealerships. So